of the hyperbola?
0, 0.
0, ooh,
-0, 2.
-2, 4, -2.
how about this? -2, 4. Now you're probably wondering why.
I already know.
Here is x, here is y, and you do the opposite. So -2, 4, we're going to put a star. Which direction will it open, up and down or left and right?
Left, right.
Up and down. Because y is first. Thank you. All right, so now what is A?
Oh, yeah. 4.
4. What is B? 3. Remember, A is always first, B is always second. It's not which one is bigger. So from this center point, I'm going to go up 4, and I'm going to go down 4. Okay? Now those are my what? Vertices. Good. Okay? So my vertices are at the coordinates. Let's look at this one. 0, -2, 0. And what's this one going to be? -2 what? 8. So now I need to find the foci. So in order to find the foci, we need to find what C equals. Okay? So to find what C equals, do you remember the formula from yesterday? Perfect. C squared equals A squared plus B squared. So 16 and 9 gives me 25. C is 5. So my foci are going to be located from the center, up 5, down 5. So they will be located at -2, -1, and -2, 9. What is the last thing we need to find before I can actually draw my hyperbola then? Asymptotes, very good. And so when it opens up and down, was it A over B or B over A? When it opened up and down?
Yeah. A over B.
Okay, so when it opens up and down, it's A over B. Now this is the thing, if you remember we had to write equations, correct? And so this is where my equation's going to start. Remember yesterday it was y equals? This one's going to be y minus 4 equals, yes?
Is it always the number that's under the y divided by the number that's under the x?
Yeah.
Oh,
Okay, so that might be a way for you to remember it. So in this case, here's A over B. And then this will be for the x. So when the center is not at 0, 0, this is the equation that you have to use. You use whatever's in the parentheses or whatever is squared. Okay, so that's where your asymptotes are. So essentially, this is all you do. From the center, I'm going to go 4/3. So I'm going to go 4/3 up and then 4/3 down, and I'm going to go ahead and draw a line. Okay? From the center to do the other one, what am I going to do? Yep, so tell me. Yep. Yep, 4 and then over 3 to the left. Yep. Okay? So then now those are our guidelines. Let's go and draw the hyperbola in. So there you go. Questions? Lots of steps. You got to keep them straight from ellipses as well. Okay, so now let's write some equations. Okay? Write the equation of the hyperbola. Center is at -1, 5, focus is at 2, 5, and the major axis is 4 units. Okay, so let's think about something. The center's at negative 1, 5. Now this doesn't have to be a fancy graph, but let's just go ahead and draw something like that. Okay, there's my center. Now they tell me that the focus is at 2, 5. So that's going to put it right here. So what direction, based on that information, is this going to open? Yes, side to side. So left, right. So I know that what comes first? X. Okay, so I'm going to start with the X. So can somebody tell me how I'm going to write that? X plus
Is it plus?
1 quantity squared minus what will come next? Minus 5 quantity squared, okay, equals 1. So if you get nothing else more than that written, I mean, there you're at least going to get partial credit because you told me it opens left, right, and you've got the center in there. So now we need to figure out what A and what B are. So first of all, this distance here is what? C. And I know that C is 3. And then they also give me a little bit of information. They say that the major axis is 4 units. So that tells me that A is 2. Okay, why is A 2? Because the major axis is from vertex to vertex, or vertex to vertex. And so since it's 4, half of 4 is 2. So what am I going to put under the x plus 1 quantity squared? 4, because I always put, for those of you that are making notes, 2 squared. So that's where 4 comes from. It doesn't come from the fact that the major axis is 4 units long. Okay, that's not the same 4. This 4 and this 4 are not the same. So now we have to find what B is. So we're going to use that formula. C squared equals A squared plus B squared. So I know C squared is 9. What does B squared equal? 5. So that's what's going to go here. You don't have to take the square root. You don't have to find anything else. Okay? That's your whole answer. Okay. All right, let's look at the next one. Alrighty, so let's go ahead and look at this one. 3, negative 1 is our center. I have a vertex of 6, negative 1. And then I have an asymptote. So there's my center. Okay, my vertex is right here. So what direction is it going to open? Left to right, very good. So what comes first? X. So can somebody tell me what my equation is going to start looking like? X minus 3 quantity squared, yes. Okay, good. And what else? Equals 1, good job, okay? So then now I need to find what A and B are. So do they tell me anything with what I have in my graph? Really? What is that? 3, and that refers to A. Why is it A? Because it's a vertex. This is a V. This is not an F, meaning foci. A vertex always goes with A. So right here I'm going to put 9. If you're wondering where the 9 came from, it's 3 squared. So now I've got to find what B is, and so the only other piece of information they give me are the asymptotes. Okay, so real quick, I'm going to get rid of this right now. And if it opens left and right, what do the asymptotes fit? Are they A over B or B over A? If it opens left-right, did you look back? If it opens left-right, it's B over A. So I know here that 2/3 has to equal B over A. Well, what do I know A is? 3. So 2 over 3 has to equal B over 3. What does B have to be, guys? 2. Now, if those would have matched up, you would have had to solve that proportion, like cross multiply. Okay? But B is 2, so I'm going to square it and put that over 4. Okay? Questions? Okay, let's see what we have on the next one. Determine the eccentricity. So let's review eccentricity real quick. Eccentricity was what over what? C over A, and that told how stretched like a figure was. So we're looking for E equals C over A. So I need to figure out what is what. So do they give me anything with that equation? A is what? A is 8, good. And B is, well, this is B squared is 80, okay? So now in my formula, I right now have something over 8. I've just got to find what C is. So let's utilize our big formula. C squared equals A squared plus B squared. So what is A squared? 64. What is B squared? 80. So C squared equals 144. What does C have to equal? 12. So my eccentricity is 12 over 8, which reduces down to what, guys? 3/2. There you go. So when you're given an equation, you're going to do those exact same steps every time. You'll always know A, you'll be given B squared, you'll solve for C. Okay, the final thing we're going to cover, and this isn't going to take us a long time either, and then you'll have time to work, says that the graph of a second degree equation of that form is a circle if B squared minus 4AC is less than 0, if B equals 0, and A equals C. Okay, it's an ellipse if B squared minus 4AC is less than 0 as well. Either B doesn't equal 0 or A doesn't equal C. Okay, it's a parabola if B squared minus 4AC equals 0. And it's a hyperbola if B squared minus 4AC is greater than 0. Okay, so we're going to go through those on an example because you're probably like, huh? Okay. So let's go ahead and look at the examples we have now. Okay, so B refers to the coefficient of x, y. A refers to the coefficient of x squared, and C refers to the coefficient of y squared. So here we go. What is B in this first example? B, there is no B, right? Because B is xy. So B squared, so I have 0 squared minus, A is 4, C is 3. So 0 squared minus 4 times A times C. So what do I get? What is this equal? Close. Negative. Negative 48. So this is either a circle or an ellipse, right? So we got to go figure out if it's a circle. Okay, if it's a circle, A has to equal C. Does A equal C? No, so it's got to be an ellipse. Okay. That's the thing. A has to equal C in order for it to be a circle. Let's look at the next one. B is my coefficient of xy. A is the coefficient of x squared. C is the coefficient of y squared. So B squared, what is that? 16. Minus 4, what's A times C? 4. What do you get? 0. So this is a, what is this?
Parabola.
Parabola. Okay, now we got a problem on the next one. What's the problem? It doesn't equal 0. So this is the easy way. You see what I did? Make all those negative, because then that's like you moved them over to the left side. Okay, so what is B? What is B? 2. What is A? 6x squared. What is C? Negative 3. So we have B squared, which is 4. Somebody already said that. Minus 4. What is A times C? Yep, negative 18. So what is 4 minus negative 72? 76. So what is this? It's a hyperbola. Okay? So those are just going to be identifying. You basically check if they're less than 0, greater than 0, or equal to 0. Okay? If they're less than 0, you have two choices. On the less than 0, you look if A is equal to C. Okay? So you have the rest of your assignment to keep working on from yesterday. Okay? And you have... So over the weekend, I would hope that you would at least get a good, healthy start. Come ready to go Monday, especially since we're going to be having a test end of next week.